Well, it was the issue that had everybody talking yesterday. Of course, I'm talking about population. And at some point after 11 o'clock last night, our nation's headcount officially crashed through the 25 million number. Now, as we said yesterday, when the ABS made their official population predictions back in 1998, they said Australia would reach 25 million by the end of the year 2051. And yet here we are, 33 years early, and obviously a mile behind when it comes to the infrastructure required to cope. Well, over the past few months, as the population issue sort of worked its way to the fore of public consciousness, many of you have complained that voters, you, are not being listened to on this issue, that the political class ignore carefree, the growing calls from the electorate, and what they have to say on this issue. Now, Pauline Hanson wants to give you a say at the next election. Now, she's proposing a very simple question to be tacked on to the election, asking voters this very easy question. Do you think the immigration rate is too high? Do you think the immigration rate is too high? Well, I think I know how most Australians will vote, and that's probably why most politicians don't want to actually ask us the question. Well, Pauline Hanson does, and she's on the line. G'day there, Pauline.
G'day, Michael. Hi.
This issue of population, as you well know, has been a burning sore in the public consciousness for a very, very long time. But most voters, well, none of us have been able to really have a say on it. You want to give the voters a bit of power.
Oh, too right. And I think we should. We should all have a say in the future of our country. And immigration, everything revolves around immigration. Our standard of living, our way of life, whether we have a job, it all revolves around immigration. And the politicians, they just annoy me so much. They tie it to the GDP. They say that, our obligation to the other countries, our free trade agreements with other countries, and they're destroying Australia. And, I've just travelled recently through England, Ireland, I look even to over to France, and I've travelled quite a bit, in the moment Norway. And the problems they're having in those countries, especially in England and France, tied to high immigration numbers, they're losing their country, and it's a shame. And the Brits are angry about it. And I don't want to see that happen in Australia. And we have a right to have a say. And the politicians should give the people the right to have the say. And they won't do it because they know that the people don't want these high numbers of immigration.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I said. I think we know the answer to your question if it were tacked on as a plebiscite or whatnot, tangential to the upcoming federal election. I think we know what the answer would be. The majority, not everyone, but the majority of Australians, particularly a lot of those in the capital cities, will say, yeah, we do think the immigration rate is too high. And that is the very answer the treasurers from both the major parties and a lot of the hangers-on simply don't want to hear, because this is their economic model. They're not interested, or they're incapable of boosting productivity, as you know. All they're doing is boosting GDP with population.
Michael, let's look further down the track. High immigration numbers doesn't mean that everyone's going to get a job, and most, a lot of them won't want jobs because they're going to be self-sufficient. They come out here to bring their money into the country, and I understand that. But what is happening? We've lost a lot of industries and manufacturing. We're going to automation, and people are going to be not worth their value anymore because we're going to have machines doing the work that people used to do. We're losing the trades. We're losing a lot of things. So what is going to happen to these people? They're going to be thrown onto a scrap heap. Politicians don't have to worry about it because they've always got their jobs. They're not looking at the future of this nation and its future generations. If we go back to the 1960s, our unemployment at that time was around about 2.6%. We had around about, look off the top of my head because I was only a kid at that time, I think it was about 10 to 13 million people.
Yeah. And
we actually were a very profitable country. So high immigration numbers, the same size country, no difference there, but we had low unemployment and we had prosperity. The country was doing extremely well. So you see, the argument that we need high immigration numbers for the GDP or to run the country economically is wrong. It's the politicians that are not running the country properly with the waste of monies, and their spending is out of control.
Well, if a large population automatically equals prosperity, then someone better get the memo to India.